Hi guys, 30th of November, and today we're going to build the Hibernaculum. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is pick your spot. We've picked a spot, I've told you many times in other videos, more or less up against this back wall. We are going to put a new fence or new netting right across there, just to keep things out. The next thing you need to do is pull out all the junk that the scroats have thrown over the fence because they can't be bothered to put it in their own bins, or they're too lazy, or they just want to cause problems. We've got all sorts here. There's even petrol in one of these things, so it's not good. Anyway, we've cleared the space where we're going to put it. We're going to dig a hole and then we'll start from there, but I'll take you through our step by step. Next thing we want to do, we don't want to be walking back and forth and everything else, so we've gathered all the materials we're going to use, and this is just all the stuff I've just cleared from here, and we're going to actually use in the Hibernaculum. Some old pots. These bags are containing leaves that I collected this morning for leaf mould, but I'm going to use some of those as well. We've got some rotting wood that I didn't take to the tip yesterday. Again, that'll all come in handy. And we've got 3 pallets. Okay, and what we're going to do, we'll take you through a step by step, and I'll explain as and when I need to. But the first things first, we're going to dig that hole here. Okay guys, we've decided this is exactly where we're going to start the build, and the reason being it's going to end up in a mound up here, and it'll give us enough room just to put a bit of a fence behind. So we're going to select the smallest pallet we have, okay, and I'll show you why now. This is that pallet that I didn't take to the tip yesterday. You saw me pull it away. So what we're going to want to do is just mark it out roughly where we want it, and I think about there, and we're going to trace a line around it. Leaving a perimeter a little bit further, say around about 6 to 8 inches more than the pallet, and that will just allow you to get things into the pallet once it's down in the ground. Okay, all we need to do now is dig this out to the depth of a pallet. We're going to chuck all the spoil just by there, because we are going to use it later on. This is going to be very weedy. Okay, so I'm going to place that pallet into the hole, leaving that 6-inch gap right around, just so you can get your hands in there. Okay, the idea is now we want to fill all this void under here with all the rocks, branches, the pots, the bracken, the rotten wood and everything else, and it's going to create like a lattice underneath. Lots of little compartments and nooks and crannies where bugs and toads and all sorts of things can live. Don't be afraid to jam the stuff in there, guys. All the rotten wood that you've got on your plot, things like this are ideal because they provide food as well as anything else. So the idea is now is to just get all of this stuff rammed in there. All the stones, which will create pockets. Now you can see why you need that gap around. It's a great way of getting rid of all the junk off your plot as well. Like I said, I took a lot of it on the tip, but I kept certain timbers and woods back for this very purpose. Essentially, you're making like a bug hotel for a hibernaculum, is where everything hibernates. It might be a bit late for most things now this year, but I am able to do it for, for most of the year. So we're doing it now, and it'll come ready for next year then. And whatever decides to come in there in the meantime can do. Really jam those things under there, guys. Don't be afraid, because the bugs will find room, and the frogs and things like that. Alright guys, so this is the first one done, okay, and as you saw, excuse me panting, we threw in all sorts of stones, bricks, twigs, rotten wood. We've jammed in loads of leaves in there. It's not jam packed, so you can still get your hands in there, there's still cavities in there, okay, but what this is going to do is just going to create lots of little runs and little sort of cubby holes and things like that. I've got a couple of old little tiny pots which we're going to put in. These, we'll stick a few of them in, and then this level will be done and we'll get on with the next level. But I've only pulled the camera off just so you can get a bird's eye view. The pallet is, it's not jam packed, but there's enough in there that it's going to create loads of space. and then we'll put the next pallet on top, and so on. So I'll plug you back up. This is going to be quite a long video, I think, guys, but I'll speed things up when I'm doing things, when I'm not talking. On to the next step. What these will do is just create those little rooms. Just stick a few in. Things like frogs and toads will hide in them. Okay, the next thing, guys, this PVC piping is what was left over from the build when we did the polytunnel. These were the offcuts. What we're going to do, we're going to put a couple of these just on the sides like this. And what it's going to allow them to do is gain access into the Hibernaculum. It won't allow water in, for the simple reason being, it's going to be off on a slope anyway, so the water will run past them. Okay, next thing we need is some weed membrane. This weed membrane is just to stop the earth. Okay, so now you can staple this, but I wouldn't bother. Okay, what you want to do though is find the thing and rip some holes in it. What this is going to allow them to do is change between levels. This will just allow all the bugs and things to change between levels. But it will stop the bulk of the soil. There we go. Right. Next thing now, we need to shovel some soil on there. So we'll do that next. Okay guys, pull off any rocks, we keep them for the next one. Just move it around, take out any of these big roots because we don't want them growing. Okay, what that soil is going to do is going to allow the bugs just to crawl between the layers. Now, what we've got to do, put the next level on, and now we're coming out of the ground. This pallet is slightly bigger. Excellent. Great. Now we just repeat the process. I'm going to stop the video here, and when I finish this one I'll come back to you. Right guys, I'll see if I can get you a bit closer before I put the leaves in, just so you can see what I mean about the nooks and crannies. As you can see, I don't know if you can, but there are loads and loads of nooks and crannies in there. So I don't know what you can see because of the sun guys, but hopefully it's enough. Jam the leaves in this one, and away we go. And this is where a lot of the insulation is going to come from for the winter. Okay, get them off, spread it out. Don't worry if the soil goes through the holes, it's meant to. It'll just show them there's a path up into the next level. There we go. Now the last pallet. Okay guys, all we need to do now is create a mound of soil. Now obviously we ain't got enough by there, but we have got a load of soil at the back of the shed, so that's where that's coming from, and we're going to do that now. So I'll put that on and I'll speed it up for you. Just fold this up at each level into the back, just to create areas where they can get in. Well, that's the first load gone on. I'm going to continue. I'll come back to you guys because this video's getting on. Hi guys, it's coming up to 4:15. It's quite dark here, but as you can see, the Hibernaculum is finished. We've brought over 15 wheelbarrows worth of soil from behind that shed. We've created little holes into it. We've also got the tubes down to the bottom thing, you know, the bottom level again over there. I'm not worried about the weed and stuff in it because this is all going to be planted up, and it's meant to look a bit natural because a pond is coming in front of it. Again, there's little holes everywhere for things to get in. So and again on this side, little holes everywhere. Look, the tube down to the bottom one, so they can get in and out of there. So that's it. It's a big mound of earth, but it's a 3-story complex now for anything that wants to live in it. Frogs, toads, birds, anything at all. You know, there'll be reptiles, there'll be nymphs and newts and all sorts of things in there. What's going to happen now? Here we'll have our pond, and we'll have a couple of bug hotels on the either side of it, and this will be our wildlife section. Anyway guys, that's how you build a hibernaculum. I'm absolutely filthy, so I'm going home, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks guys, bye.